the need and concern. The recently released caste survey data by Bihar government has once again brought the issue of caste census to the forefront. While Census of India has been publishing data on scheduled caste and scheduled tribes, there has been no estimate for the population of other backward classes and other groups. What are census and socio-economic and caste census (SECC)? Census in India. The origin of census in India dates back to the colonial exercise of 1881. Census is used by government, policymakers, academics and others to capture the Indian population, access resource, map social change and conduct delimitation exercises. However, it has been criticized as a blunt instrument unsuited for specialized inquiry. Socio-economic and caste census was first conducted in 1931, which aimed to collect information on the economic status of Indian families, both in rural and urban areas, to identify indicators of deprivation. It also collects data on specific caste names to evaluate the economic conditions of different caste groups. Difference between census and SECC. Census provides a general portrait of Indian population, while SECC is used to identify beneficiaries of state support. Census data is confidential under the Census Act 1948, while personal information of SECC is open for use by government departments to grant or restrict benefits to households. The history of caste-based data collection in India. Caste-based data collection has a long history in India, with information on caste being included up to 1931. Post 1951, the decision to stop collecting caste data was made to move away from the divisive approach and promote national unity. However, with changing socio-political dynamics and need for accurate information, there has been a renewed call for caste census. What is the significance of caste census? To address social inequality. First, caste-based discrimination is still prevalent in many parts of India. A caste census can help identify the disadvantaged groups and bring them to the forefront of policy making. By understanding the distribution of different caste groups, targeted policies can be implemented to address social inequality and uplift marginalized communities. To ensure equitable distribution of resources. Without accurate data on the population of OBC and other groups, it is difficult to ensure equitable distribution of resources. A caste census can help in this regard by providing insights into the socio-economic conditions and needs of different caste groups. It can guide policymakers in formulating policies that cater to the specific requirement of each group, thereby promoting inclusive development. To monitor the effectiveness of affirmative action policies such as reservations for OBC and other groups are aimed at promoting social justice. However, without proper data on the population, it becomes challenging to evaluate the impact and effectiveness of these policies. A caste census can help monitor the implementation and outcomes of such policies, enabling policymakers to make informed decisions regarding their continuation and modification. To provide comprehensive picture of Indian society. Caste is an integral part of Indian society, influencing social relationships, economic opportunities and political dynamics. A caste census can provide a comprehensive picture of the diversity of Indian society, shedding light on the social fabric and interplay between different caste groups. This data can contribute to a better understanding of social dynamics. Constitutional mandate. Our constitution to favor conducting a caste census. Article 340 mandates the appointment of a commission to investigate the conditions of socially and educationally backward classes and make recommendations as to the steps that should be taken by governments. What are the arguments against caste census? Reinforces the caste system. Opponents of a caste census argue that caste-based discrimination is illegal and that a caste census would only reinforce the caste system. They believe that focusing on individual rights and equal opportunities for all citizens should be prioritized over categorizing people based on their caste identities. Difficult to define caste. Defining caste is a complex issue as there are thousands of castes and subcastes in India. A caste census would require a clear definition of caste, which is not an easy task. Critics argue that could lead to confusion, disputes and further divisions within society. Leads to further social divisions. Some argue that caste census could lead to further social divisions and that it is better to focus on promoting social harmony instead. They believe emphasizing commonalities among people rather than highlighting the differences would be more beneficial or national integration. What is the government's stand on caste census? The government of India in 2021 had stated in Lok Sabha that it has decided as a matter of policy not to enumerate caste-wise population other than SC and ST in census. What is the role of socio-economic and caste census? The SECC conducted in 2011 was an attempt to collect comprehensive data on socio-economic indicators along with caste information. However, due to concerns over data quality and classification challenges, the raw caste data collected in SECC has not yet been released or utilized effectively. An expert group was formed to classify and categorize the raw data, but its recommendations are still pending implementation. What can be the way forward? Independent studies at district and state level can be conducted to acquire the data of caste and subcaste. To those levels, the data must not become a weapon for deepening faultiness and increasing polarization to win elections. It should not lead to splintering and shrinking of very notion of representation in a large and diverse democracy. Use of technologies such as artificial intelligence and machine learning can help in analyzing data. Subcategorization of OBC to provide representation to underrepresented subcaste of OBC, for which Justice Rohini Commission had recently submitted the report. In conclusion, while there are arguments for and against the caste census, accurate data on the population of OBC and other groups is necessary for promoting social justice and ensuring equitable distribution of resources, and caste census can help also monitor the effectiveness of affirmative action policies and provide a comprehensive picture of Indian society. It is crucial for policymakers to carefully consider the arguments of both sides to provide for a more equitable and just society.